What's going on, everyone? Excuse me. What's going on? Major live feed. Who's the first one in here? I wonder who the first one is that just got in here. We're on 3 different accounts. Everyone always asks, dude, how are you on this account? How are you on that account? Well, you got to have a couple phones, you know? But then people say, but dude, I thought you're, against the internet. No. I'm not against the internet. I'm against Elon Musk wanting to put a microchip into your brain to help the world. And who was it? I just watched the video. I shared it on my Telegram. Please, someone remind me. In the Telegram, I shared a video that was exposing the truth about Elon Musk. It is not what you think it is. Elon Musk isn't this very smart guy who is just this genius, strange guy. No. He says that he was started at the bottom, right? And he was born in South Africa, very poor. No. His family owned an emerald mine and had hundreds of millions of dollars, such that his dad was quoted as saying that they couldn't close the safe. They had so much money, they couldn't shut their safe. They had so much coin. And this, of course, is if you believe that Elon Musk was actually born, which some people maybe think that he was not, and that he is actually a chimera hybrid artificial intelligence organic body, but literally mind controlled. Some people think that that's far out, I will say. But I will say that is technologically capable. It is technologically capable they have had the technology for actually quite a while now. To use advanced computers. Put it this way. Every year that we advance technologically, 70 years of technological advancements are made behind the scenes. So anything you think that's like too far, like, man, we don't have the technology for that, like that glue bag, so apparent astronaut who said, the astronaut who apparently went to the moon and then said, but we can't go there anymore because we lost the technology. That's a real quote by a guy who apparently went to the moon and said, we went there, but we can't now because we don't have the technology anymore. Every other area of life, technology is improved except for the technology to be able to go to the moon. Here's another one. Remember this. Why do we need 5G when the president called the moon on a landline in the 1960s? And the moon is apparently, 270,000, 300,000 miles away, apparently, according to them, which I don't say and I believe it, boy. But why do we need 5G for faster internet when we could have done that in the 1960s or whatever year that was? That's a boost, said Human Tissue Farm. Yeah, they've been putting people, by the way, dude, I saw your video. That was hilarious when you went to this guy over here did a hilarious video. I'll have to post it in my Telegram if he sends it to me, and I'll shout him out there, but I'm not posting that on Instagram. And in fact, I probably don't even want to talk about it anymore because you never know. They're coming after folks who actually speak truth. But anyways, so Elon Musk says he was born poor, and this is a verifiable lie. He was born into a family that owned an emerald mine, millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. And again, let's just go with the story that he was actually born and is a real human being, okay, in all its capacity. And someone in here is like, dude, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Real human being. We're all human. What are you talking about? Let's just say there's a few folks among us, among the crowd rather, among the corporate structures and whatnot around the world and these societies that are really pulling the strings and whatnot. There's a bit of, there's some inhuman tendencies and inhuman characteristics. But anyways, the next thing is Elon Musk was actually sued because he was trying to get people to say that he was the CEO of the company it was called something before it was called PayPal. He was not a founder of PayPal, okay? So all these little crypto Instagram pages that are like, yo, Elon Musk, man, buy Dogecoin, and everyone's chirping. And meanwhile, Elon Musk is 100% a part of the cult. 100%. People are saying, no, man, he's against the system. He tweeted out that people shouldn't be on house arrest now, and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, the guy is literally creating a technology to merge your brain and your body to artificial intelligence. Someone said, was it him? Yeah, it was him too, who said, you can upload your mind to the cloud and then you can be immortal. You can upload your mind to a cloud computer, and then when your body dies, your mind is still alive. Not in its capacity that you may think. So someone said, is Elon a cyborg? And I'll put it this way. You've seen Star Wars, eh? Remember General Grievous? And he's a cyborg. He's the consciousness. He has a consciousness, but he's in a physical body, like a metallic body. All right, he's a cyborg, half a part human or a part biological life form, and part artificial intelligence, part robot. Let me just tell you that was not just some fictitious thing they thought up. They have had the technology for decades now to be able to remotely control. I mean, put it this way: remotely control a biological life form with nodes and sensors and things in it that they're trying to hack into this matrix. When you look around, when you become conscious to the level of, I don't want to say become conscious because it's an ever evolving situation. It's never just you become woke. Your pineal gland, just all of a sudden cracks open and you become your pineal gland is activated. That's not how I think it is. I think it gets charged up. I think it gets slowly and slowly more functional. Sometimes faster and faster, more functional, depending on what you're consuming and whatnot. But if you look around this natural world, it's beautiful, the blue sky, the clouds floating through when it's real clouds, the trees, the plants, and all this natural world. And then you have dark forces that are using genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and they're trying to literally hack into the fabric of the reality we live in, this third dimensional reality. They're trying to spiritually manipulate you with, of course, we already talked about for an hour earlier today, what happens to your pineal gland when they unfortunately affect it with these strange chemicals and things like that. Now, you may be wondering, damn, that's pretty heavy. Like they're literally trying to hack into this reality. That's how I think it is, man. Of course. I mean, when they're using 5G to create a synthetic frequency field that would counteract the natural magnetic frequencies of the Earth, because the Earth has a natural magnetic field. When they're putting these 5G towers, these cell towers up everywhere, and they're emitting a frequency. I mean, put it this way. I saw a guy go up to one of those towers and say, look at the gauge of cable, huge gauge of cable that's going up to this tower. He said that's capable of 100 times what it's putting out right now. Those things could be cranked up, and we're not going to talk about where that could go. But I will say that if all of a sudden everywhere is covered in a frequency bandwidth that's unnatural, that's created from this technological device, it has altered the field, okay? It has altered the field of the natural magnetic wavelength, the magnetic force field that the Earth naturally has. So why would they want to do that? Well, you may be thinking, no, dude, they're just trying to get you cell service. They're just trying to get you cell service. I'm thinking, man, if that guy could call the moon in the 1960s with a landline, what are we doing here? We're putting up these cell towers in schoolyards and in community centers, etc. How about this? Someone told me a story. They drove by these two old ladies, and they're driving, and they parked, and they're both wearing masks. And initially, it was like, oh, wow, yeah, great job. Stay safe, eh? And you kind of wanted to chirp them because they're sheepishly just adhering to the exact guidelines that the government dictates to them. But then there's a moment of, hold on a second. How hard can you really chirp people who are doing this because they are literally either scared, they're either completely in fear, or they don't want to look, they want to follow the herd. They don't want to create waves. They want to do exactly what's everyone doing. I'll do that. That's the kind of thing. So then it goes back to, well, you can't look at someone who's sheepishly restricting their respiratory passages when they're fully healthy. You literally got to send love to them, man. Because if you're looking at them and thinking negatively, like, damn, you're literally sheepishly wearing that. I can't believe this is just so foolish. Like, what are you thinking? You're such a sheep, blah, blah, blah. That is, you're putting out negative vibes. And there's no way that putting out a negative thought pattern that is at a force field, like the thoughts have a frequency. Negative thoughts have a low frequency. If you put that thought wave out there towards anyone, you are creating something negative to happen to you. Judging people, for example. Judging these folks who are sheepishly going along with the plan, perfectly being perfectly dictated to, perfectly, following orders. You don't want to look at them and be like, damn, you're literally a dumbass. Because and I know it's hard not to feel that way sometimes. And you can have these, of course, ups and downs. But you don't want to literally put out this negative vibe to people. Instead, you literally got to put love to them and say, yeah, what can you say? You can plant a seed, but it does come back. When you put that out there, no matter what thought wave you put out there, positive or negative, you are manifesting the opposite. And not to mention, isn't it funny? So we were laughing because you look at someone sheepishly restricting their respiratory passages when they're perfectly healthy. And you think, you guys are dummies, right? But then by you literally putting out there this negative wavelength of thought, who's the real dummy? Because they think they're protecting you. They think they're saving lives. And so in their mind, they have a positive thought about it. Sometimes they have a positive thought about it. They're like, damn, I'm saving lives. Like I'm restricting my respiratory passages. And then the person who's aware that this whole thing is a complete scam, and they see them and go, you idiot, you're the one creating a negative. So isn't it funny? Sometimes you'll catch yourself just when you thought you knew a thing or two, that you're thinking twice about it and going, damn, you got to check yourself. You really got to check yourself sometimes. And it's hard, of course, when, people are lining up, to get the what, and it's like, dude, but at that point, what do you got to do? What can you do? If they already got it, what can you do? You can plant a seed, man. We're just gardeners, man. We're farmers, ST. Exactly, Roy, Sean. Your thoughts are more powerful than you realize. Careful what you think. You got to be real careful what you think. Third Eye Hiker just made a statement there, two-worded, a hyphenated word there. And that's a documentary that was the most censored documentary in at least the last 10 years. It was deleted and scrubbed off YouTube so quick. It was insane. And you got to think about it, if you can't win the debate, you must silence the debate. And that's why censorship is a thing right now. That is why censorship is a thing. This person said, what do you know about UFO information released on June 1st? So I've been thinking about this. The mainstream media is hyping up UFOs a lot. And I don't know. I choose to know, I should say. I'm choosing to know what exactly the plan is with the UFO stuff. Because, Justin Hammond III, go into the Telegram channel, fourth link in my bio, on Connecting Consciousness account, and at me in the Connecting Consciousness group chat, or just at me anywhere, or just say, what's the documentary that I mentioned, and I'll post it in my Telegram. I'm not even going to say it out loud here, man. You don't understand how big this, I saw a guy the other day, he got a community guideline violation for posting a comment on a live feed. And it's like, dude, how much are they listening to even just audio, And not they listening, but I know it's an algorithm that triggers, it's an algorithm that gets triggered. But so the UFO, here's my thing. Obviously, if you see a UFO, like, do UFOs exist? Well, no shit. You can look in the sky and see something that is unidentified and it looks like it's flying. Like, yeah, that could be a plane. You haven't identified it yet. So here's my thing, all right? There's some people who say all UFOs is just dark forces. There's some people who say all UFOs are holograms. There's other people who say all UFOs are military. And it's actually a combination of all three. And so, in my opinion, but I have researched decently, but I mean, I'm always open to being wrong. When you see a UFO, it's either a literal hologram with Project Bluebeam, which they've had the technology since before Cuba, before the Cuban Missile Crisis. No, Moonbeam, I have not, and I will not be. And then the second thing it could be is military. Sometimes when you see a UFO, it could be military for sure. And I have seen two different instances of crazy UFO phenomenon, but it's like, it's hyped up when you're in the moment, but like I could care less to watch a video of like a light in the sky. It's like, okay, dude, I got to be there. If I'm not there, I don't really, whatever. But then the third option is that it is advanced technology, and it could be non-humanoid. It is very possible. I mean, think about it. There's been whistleblowers who worked within the U.S. military, the Russian military, the Chinese military, who have spoken out about, and by the way, when they speak out, they get their name smeared, they get sued. Sometimes they get killed for speaking out about this. That there are other entities that exist in other frequency bands. So this guy said, they are demons. Here's the thing, big guy. We were designed intelligently, the human body, and we were designed to see a little fraction of the entire frequency range of light. We can see literally, like you're looking around. When you're looking around, you're seeing everything in the third dimension. You're seeing everything that's at the same or a specific resonance that makes it visible to the naked eye. It's just light at a different frequency. That's all it is. But did you know that if the light waves get a bit higher, you can't see it anymore? And if it gets a bit lower, you can't see it anymore. In other words, if there's anything outside of the immediate visible light spectrum, you can't see it. And it's not even 1% of the entire range of frequency that we can see. It's a fraction of 0.1%. Like we can literally barely see. It's like being able to see just only an inch in front of your face. That's what it's like when there is valleys and mountain ranges ahead of you. That's exactly what the human beings are in right now. We're in a vehicle that's highly designed for the third dimension, but our consciousness comes from higher dimensions. That is true. But my point is this. These other dimensions, lower and higher, other entities exist there. What do you think ghosts are? Ghosts are kind of stuck in between the third and the fourth. They didn't quite make it all the way to where they're supposed to be going, or they chose to hang around for a little bit longer. But that's their choice. See, we all have the choice. All of our souls, all of our bodies, we get the choice. When you die, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? You want to come back? You want to go hang out in the fifth, sixth dimension for a little while? You got the choice. But allegedly, you don't have that choice if you go into the light when you die, which is apparently the mind reset program. If you turn away from the light, that's when you get to make the choice. Apparently, I mean, I'll let you know when that happens, and I'll go live from there. But anyway, so many different folks from many different assets and avenues of different places in terms of spirituality, consciousness, alien phenomena, blah, 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 have all said that same thing, by the way, that you don't head towards the light. But we'll see. Let me know. One of you gets there, give me a text, whatever, go live. But my point is this, neither here nor there. The truth is that there is other wavelengths of light that we cannot see, and folks exist there. Other types of folks, not like me and you, perhaps. Consciousnesses, energy forms, etc. So when this guy said that they're all demons, I would say that is false. I'm sure there are negative entities that exist that fly around. We're talking about UFOs right now, everyone who just joined. We're talking about UFOs. Some UFOs are military. Some UFOs are, Project Bluebeam, complete hologram. I think some of those big light shows where it looks like 50 UFOs, I think that's Bluebeam. I think that is military projecting what looks like UFOs. And then I believe that there is a third, and the third is actually a big host of different types of folks that could be. It can either be genuine off-world, it could be genuine multi-dimensional entities. But if it was multi-dimensional entities, why would they be in a physical aircraft or craft in general? I don't know. It also can be the inner earth civilizations. Let's talk about this for a moment. A video got posted on YouTube that climbed up and got to 999,999 views and then was deleted before it hit 1 million. And this video was called Inner Earth Civilizations Exist and I Can Prove It. That's what the title of this YouTube video was. It got deleted. It may be up again, but I did just post it in my Telegram a little while ago. So this video, why would they delete it? Why would they give a shit if people believe that Inner Earth exists? Many folks say, why would they delete it? So I watched it and I actually posted it in the Telegram, and it might be on YouTube still, even though they had deleted it before, but sometimes they can re-upload it, give it a different name, and it doesn't get deleted again. But my point is this, is that you got to think for a second. in this video, it uncovers a lot of phenomena, like what Admiral Byrd, if you didn't hear about Admiral Byrd, he went to, where did he go? He went to Antarctica in a huge convoy, military troops. Actually, someone else tell the story. Basically, he flew an entire plane to go check out what's going on in Antarctica. And what happened when he got there was very strange. This was Admiral Byrd's testimony that he wrote in a document. He documented the entire thing. Okay, this is what Admiral Byrd said. Please don't say that. Please don't think I'm just making this up. Admiral Byrd, the most prestigious military general. Was he a general or an admiral? Either way, very, very high esteemed guy. And he went to fly to Antarctica. As he's flying, he's noticing that the temperature on the ground is getting higher. Tropical birds fly by his aircraft. I guess he started going in real low, eh? And all of a sudden, this is his own testimony, like literally, and it's been verified, documented that it is his own handwriting. He wrote it, and he said that as he was in the sky flying, all of a sudden, the engines stopped, but the plane kept moving at the same speed. Then, all of a sudden, everything went bright white, and then him and his co-pilot appeared, this is what he wrote, appeared in a room with tall, humanoid beings that looked a little different, and they said, basically, what's up, man? No, I'm just kidding. They said, this is real though, seriously, it's fucking crazy. He said, hey, man, we're glad you came to visit. We know that you're genuine, and we know that you have positive intentions, but you can't come here. We don't allow outsiders in here, but, we're not going to shoot you down. Come hang out, or just come say hello. What's going on? We got to send you back. Sorry, you can't join us here in this tropical island that they call Antarctica, but actually it's just, there's different chunks of ice, but there's actually shit down there. And, thank you, Jimma75. And you guys are cracking up. No, but seriously. So anyways, he goes, holy Kreipenheimer, are you serious? And they put him back in the plane, and he's flying back in the other direction all of a sudden. And his co-pilot's like, holy shit, they both wrote about it. They testified this happened. Well, get this. They go back, okay, so Samina said, are you keeping the live up or closing it? The live will be posted to my private, uncensored Telegram channel. You can go to the Telegram channel, or rather my BitChute channel. BitChute is an alternative to YouTube. Go to the link in my bio. You'll be able to watch this after we post it. So for everyone who just joined, we're talking about UFOs, all right? So then Admiral Byrd flies back from Antarctica, and he tells the U.S. military, the U.S. government, whoever he's hanging out with when he got back, they said, what's up? No, I'm just kidding. But he goes into the room with them, and he's like, this happened, man. They sent me back. They said we couldn't land there. They said I couldn't, go and hang out there, basically. Listen to me paraphrasing it. But the military goes, no. This is our dominion, man. We're on Earth. Look, we control Greenland. Like, we're we want to make sure we know all the different places that have a potential military tactical advantage. So the military sends an entire convoy of ships to Antarctica. And this is documentaries, by the way, that have been deleted off of YouTube yet again. They don't really want this getting out there because it would kind of shake you up. They send all these ships to Antarctica to check out what the Sam Dam that Admiral Byrd was talking about. And when they got there, and this was like a fleet, like they wanted to blow shit up. They wanted to fight to be able to get into that area that they said they couldn't go to. And essentially a battle broke out. There was a intense, warfare. Apparently ships came and hovered out of the ocean, came up from the water, and sank half the fleet because the fleet opened fire on these ships, on these aircrafts rather. They were flying. They came out of the water, but then were flying around. This is where 50% of the lives lost that day. They said that they passed away in some, I don't even know what the cover story was, but they didn't say that advanced technologically advanced beings came out of the ocean and blew them up. They didn't say that. So the ship heads back, and I guess they didn't go to Antarctica for a little while longer. However, the more context to the back of the story is that there could very well be advanced civilizations that exist in vast subterranean cavities within the earth. And if you ever saw the movie, I forget what it was, very famous movie recently. And in this movie, they're flying a spacecraft heading straight for a mountain, and everyone's like, holy shit, oh my God, we're about to get blown up. And then they fly through the mountain because the mountain is actually, there's a big hole in the side of it that's a doorway basically, that is covered with a hologram to make it appear like a mountain. And this, they fly right in and it goes to inner earth. This was a recent movie that was, Hollywood movie that they put. So that to me is hiding in plain sight, how they're easily able to camouflage some of the entrances to inner earth, which is with holographic technology, So holographic technology is much more advanced than we may believe as well. I mean, you're wondering, is there a projector sitting in the mountains projecting a hologram to there? No, it's somehow more advanced than that. I choose to know, man. But my point is this, is that very, very interesting that something like that can happen. And then they say that we don't have the technology to go to the moon anymore. You see how much of a lie that is? So back to UFOs. Sometimes they're military, sometimes they're a hologram, and sometimes they are a mixture of extra-dimensional entities or entities that exist within inner Earth. This video about inner Earth civilizations, by the way, had an entire part of it talking about where the Mayans went. You know how carved into stone at the Mayan pyramids, they have a picture of what looks like a Mayan astronaut. He's sitting in what looks like a spacecraft, and they go over all the different parts of it, and it looks like literally he's sitting in like a spaceship, like a rocket ship. Well, a ton of when I went to Chichen Itza, okay, which was the main Mayan pyramid, the eighth wonder of the world, they say, or one of them. And I'll tell you, I was surely genetically activated when I went there, because that's a chakra, that's a ley line. There's a ley line crossover, high energy, high vibes. In Mexico, right on top of where that pyramid was. And they told us about 100 different things about how strange this building was. It was not chiseled out of, it wasn't chiseled with slaves building it. Like, this is advanced technology. The sculptures of these people's faces were literally perfectly symmetrical, laser precision, okay? And also, on the side of the Chichen Itza, the main pyramid, the Mayan pyramid, there's how the sides of the pyramid aren't as pointy as they were in Egypt or in Bosnia, where they found a bunch of pyramids, by the way. The edges were rounded of these pyramids. Well, at the bottom of the Mayan pyramid, you can see that there's a serpent, okay? There's a serpent that looks like a snake, okay? Reptilian. Talk about that in a little bit. But at a certain time of year, I don't know if it was the equinox or what it was, when the sun goes down, the shadow that is casted onto the pyramid and where the stairs are, the shadow from the corner of the pyramid casts, the shadow casts what looks like, as the sun goes down, you have the serpent's head at the bottom of the pyramid, and as the sun goes down, it looks like a snake is slithering into the ground. And that's how it was specifically designed. This Mexican lady told me, she was a tour guide, and she explained this is how they designed it, to make it look like a snake is crawling or slithering into the ground. And I thought, are you kidding me? And so advanced technology was behind some of these structures around the world. And by the way, the Mayans aren't the only ones to say that serpent gods, okay, and reptile beings, okay? Many civilizations talk about reptile gods, serpent beings, etc. So the other thing this lady told me was that, I say told me, but there's 15 of us. She says that there's no mass graves from the Mayans. They never left on boats. They never found any evidence of where the Mayans went. And then she told me, and everyone else there, that if you ask the ancient Mayans that are still, the descendants of Mayans that are still hanging out at this resort or, over here, over there. They said, then you ask them, where did your ancestors go? Where did the Mayans go? And I guess they're descendants of them, so maybe all of them didn't leave. But the general consensus is that they went, and she said they went up. Like she pointed up, they went up. Like here's a spaceship that they literally have carved into the rock. I mean, maybe they left. But I think that other folks, maybe they went up, they took off the ground, but then they went to a different place and then went underground. Some people say that the Mayans escaped and they're in inner Earth. So wait till we prove that on the next live feed. I'll go live with them and we'll talk about it. But there's a lot of different possibilities out there. I just want you to know this. You've likely been lied to about almost every single thing in society today is almost a complete and utter fabrication. So could it be so far-fetched that a civilization that built this crazy pyramid, carved into stone, that there is literally a spaceship, is it so far out to think that they had advanced technology and did something with it and took off, perhaps? Because you may think, I just think it's very strange. The reptilian thing, the serpent god that they apparently worshipped. Maybe the reptilians, because in Cambodia, in Egypt, all these places reference reptile beings. What if there's a species of reptilian that went to many different parts around the world and told the ground dwellers, hey, this is how you build a pyramid here's the advanced technology. And then the reptilians take off and let them do their thing for a few thousand years. What about that? What about that? That's possible as well. Caleb said, I live in Guatemala. I heard the Mayans went extra terrain on the plane outside Antarctica. Heard it from an elder here. Very interesting. And I do think that a lot of folks are talking about this lately. And so this is why I say that UFOs can either be a genuine military, a complete hologram that's fake, or advanced technology from otherworldly entities or subterranean entities or extra-dimensional entities. Which one? Because think about it. You want to talk about Bigfoot? I mean, Bigfoot, he's a guy who, I'm just kidding, but that species of beings, which there's a lot of evidence that they're hanging out. Why can't you catch them? Have you ever thought you can't catch a Bigfoot because you don't want to be caught, and that he has a couple different DNA strands that are turned on that allows him to go within and out of the third dimension, the visible light spectrum that we're able to see 0.25% of a fraction of a percent of? You ever thought about that? Because I would say that is quite possible. I would say that is quite possible. Especially when, listen to this for a second. The ancient Celtics, the ancient Scottish, okay? The ancient Iraqis, Russians, Native Americans, all these groups, ancient, have all believed that it is common knowledge that a Bigfoot exists, that there's a mountain man, that there's a Yeti, that there's a, they call it a million different things, Sasquatch, fuck. And it's like part of their like folklore. Like that thing exists, we've seen him, we work with them, blah, blah, blah. We leave him be, we offering to him, blah, blah, blah. All over the world have mentioned a species of this type of being. And furthermore, remember the documentary that also was deleted off YouTube that says giants exist, the proof they forgot to hide. And I also posted that video on my Telegram channel. Now, here's this. If giants, they're finding giant bones that are 100 years old, that are a femur bone the size of, that's 3 meters tall, okay? A femur bone, which is like your thigh, but 3 meters tall. And they find skulls 4 times the size of a human being skull, and it's 100 years old. And they've dug up hundreds of these, and every time they dig them up, the equivalent to the Fraud and Deception Agency, instead it's the Smithsonian Institute, says, yo, let me come help you out with your giant finding. We got to verify it. And then they lose it. Literally dozens of times, they took amazing specimens of a gigantic skull being, a gigantic skull 3 times the size of a human man, blah, blah, blah. And then they lose it. You can see pictures from the 1800s, from the 1900s, from newspapers. Johnny's ranch gets excavated and they find this giant body that's 100 years, 200 years old. But it's pretty intact. So if giants exist, which they did and still do, is it possible that Bigfoot, let's call him Sasquatch, all right, exists or did exist or still hangs out somewhere but has these other dimensional powers? What about fairies? Dude, okay, you got me with Bigfoot. You told me about, you told me about Sasquatch. You told me that it's possible that, reptilians, yeah. You're talking about Bigfoot, and then now you're talking about fairies? You know what happened last year? I posted a post about how everything you think was a literal little myth growing up, that's a little fairy tale shits, is literally true. And that's where they got it from, okay? Fairies exist. When I made a post last year, you won't believe this. I made a post, and the first header was, fairies exist, period. And then I go on to say what the hell I'm talking about. I had about 15 different people from Bulgaria, Scandinavia, which I don't even think is a country anymore, but that region that my ancestors are from, Scotland and England, okay, the UK, literally 15 different people who told me almost identical stories. Their mother or their friend or their cousin or their brother, and they had this specific story happen to them, went and put the horses away for the night into the barn. And when they came back in the morning, the horse's mane, that's what it's called, eh? A lion's mane is his big, yeah. The horse's big, hair that hangs down had hundreds of thousands of miniature braids, braided up perfectly, symmetrically, perfectly, not a single strand pointing out. Their hair was braided. And then you type it in. And there's people, teachers, doctors who's like, dude, I don't know what to say, man. I went in my damn barn and a fucking horse has his braided hair. Someone braided his hair in the middle of the night. But the braids are so small, it would have taken dozens of people all night, big LED light right in the horse's face, blinding it, and tying up a million little braids, and then just to play a prank on some old man who's coming out to his barn in the morning? No. So, if fairies exist, giants exist, reptilians exist, inner earth civilizations exist, do aliens exist? Do UFOs exist? Well, we just said, UFOs can be a number of different things. Anything can be unidentified. I mean, I could fly a drone next to your house and it's a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. You don't know what it is. But the real question, if all those things are real, which ask your intuition if they are. Please don't say, dude, please prove to me, man, are they real? Ask your intuition. Because when I started hearing about, Bigfoot exists, I literally didn't think to myself, at first, I thought Bigfoot exists. Like, that's so funny. Like, really? And then, as I'm starting to, watch these videos on these guys talking about, here's a bunch of natives from over here talking about it. Here's some people all the way over the world who say, we don't go to that mountain range, dude. Yeti lives there, fuck. And he stole my horse last year. I mean, a lot of folks around the world have this common belief that they're, that was common knowledge. Like, you'd be laughed at if you didn't believe in, Bigfoot in some of these towns. It's like, don't go out after dark, man. And on top of that, on top of all those mystical things that actually are real, there was a video that I also posted in my either Telegram or my Linktree, link in bio, of a rock that was in, someplace in Europe. Maybe it was Sardinia, okay? And Sardinia has some of the oldest life expectancy. It's pretty crazy. They have a lot of olive oil there. They have a lot of, sunlight and feet in the sand and everything. But anyways, they went and found this couple that I posted. They went and found a rock that was dug out there's a window, a kitchen, a little back room, another window, a hallway that was miniature. And there was a whole complex of perfectly cut out little doorways, a little mud room, put your feet over there. And it was a miniature house. And they say, and it was very, very old. Okay. And they were saying, what, hobbits? Was there literally hobbits around? Was Lord of the Rings bullshitting us? You had the all-seeing eye in the Lord of the Rings, that big eye looking at everyone. I mean, seriously. Absolutely insane. But listen, the reason I'm telling you this stuff is not to freak you out and make you realize that this world is absolutely nothing like we know. But I'm telling you this is because you have access within your DNA to all of the different wavelengths of light that normally are completely invisible to the naked eye. And anyone who wants to watch that video of the Hobbit house, go to my link tree. It's like one of the last links is Hobbit dwelling, or I'm pretty sure that's what it was, Hobbit dwelling in Sardinia. And you tell me what you think. Did someone 6,000 years ago carve out of rock a miniature home and it makes a full-blown complex of like a housing complex? And they found it all over the island. There's a ton of them. So I think that, yes, hobbits did hang out in Sardinia and parts of Europe. Where else did they figure this idea of, where did these movies get their ideas from? You got The Hobbit, you got Star Wars, The Empire, and you have The Rebellion. And The Empire, I mean, we'll talk about this, but they literally said, we're going to take control of the galaxy now, and we have, we'll be more safe and secure than ever before. That's exactly what was said in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when Emperor Palpatine finessed his way into becoming the ruler of the Galactic Senate or whatever. And he said, now with the control of the Senate, we will have more safety and security. That's what he said. And isn't that funny that all of our rights being restricted and taken away from us, and they're hiding this amazing knowledge from us, and they all say it is for your safety. I mean, are you serious? Very, very strange. Now, someone just asked, are they able to get, and I think they already know the answer to this. For those who aren't paying attention, we had a huge revelation the last few days. A ton of people were pissed off about this, and it's understandable. But there's nothing you can do unless you civilly disobey. Just like when they say that, just like when they restrict your rights and freedoms, they're only going to do as much as you let them. So when the Fraud and Deception Agency last week announced a ban on a powerful amino acid that they don't want you taking, called NAC, Chalk can no longer give out the NAC. It's taken off. You can't get it anymore. So last year when I was saying, the FDA, man, they're coming for supplements, man. Agenda 21, they're coming for supplements. We have seen that day, the day of reckoning, where they have taken NAC out of the Apex glutathione. Chalk is going to have to reformulate their Apex glutathione very, very sadly. But it's not that big a deal because they are going to reformulate it, and it's going to be even better than last time, even better than the original. But it's very, very strange because if the FDA is starting to tell you can't take a clinically studied ingredient, and at the same time, they're putting fluoride in your water, like we talked about yesterday, you got to ask yourself, that was earlier today. They're still adding fluoride to your water, polluting your pineal gland, making you unable to see in these other wavelengths of light that exist all around you. They're blinding you from your true genetic capabilities and your true mental capabilities. And they're doing that covertly. Everything I just told you, magical, mystical, it's all true. All that stuff exists, okay? And they want you to believe that you are a random chance that came from a violent explosion, aka the Big Bang, which is bullshit, and that you're this random chance floating around and that you're insignificant. When the truth, okay, is something rather far from that. The truth is you're not an insignificant floating on a rock insignificantly, and et cetera, like they like to pitch to you. They want you to think that you're insignificant so that you're not really caring that much about what goes on here. You feel less significant, when in actual fact, you're not a drop in the ocean. You're the entire ocean in a drop. because your consciousness, your DNA transcends the physical. What do I mean by that? Your DNA is connected to the life force energy, the magnetic force field of this world. And this is how people are able to tap into, for example, the guy who created the periodic table of elements. You know where he got the periodic table of elements from? He was calculating up all the elements and he's like, damn, there's a shitload of elements here and they're all disorganized. What do I do about it? And for like 4 days straight, he stayed up. He wouldn't sleep. He was going crazy. He's a mad scientist. He's like, I got to figure out, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a pattern that these elements come together. So he passes out halfway and he goes into a state of lucid dreaming. And in his lucid dream, he sees a table. And then he starts seeing the elements fall into place. And he watches the whole thing and he wakes up and he draws it on a piece of paper. And that's how we got the periodic table of elements. You know, half of Nikola Tesla's discoveries came by way of him, Nikola Tesla, being in a lucid dream. He tapped into the consciousness of the earth through his altered state of consciousness by being in a lucid dream. Now, how cool is that? These are the abilities, and that was before they were adding fluoride to the water. Nikola Tesla did that. These are the abilities that are innate to human beings. When you see someone do something crazy, when you hear about these psychic abilities people have, that is not that they're gifted, okay? That is that they have tapped in to the same things that you are able to tap into too. But not if your pineal gland is calcified. Not if you're not getting the micronutrients. I'm kicking this dude out 5 times in a row. Man, you high, man. you high. You're probably fucking high saying that so many times, dude. Anyways, so the micronutrients, you may not be able to tap into that frequency wave being in a completely altered state of consciousness because of showering in fluoride, washing the body in body wash, like this guy just said. Body wash is chemicals, exactly. How about cologne? I went walking today, beautiful area. Buddy walks by. Man, PU, bro. What kind of cologne did you put on? I'm sure it was maybe even expensive, but dude, shit is toxic, bro. I told him, I went right up to him. I said, dude, I had, raw dog in it, face exposed. I got it right up in his face. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But I was ready to tell him, dude, come on, man. Take that elsewhere, big guy. I'd rather smell the great outdoors. I'm smelling this pine tree here. You know, pine trees, the fragrance they give off. Okay, coniferous trees give off a fragrance that turns on DNA strands. That was been clinically studied. I have no idea what's happening June 11th. I haven't heard about it yet. Jacina, who's asked 15 times, but I'm glad you asked a bunch of times because you're really eager, but I have no idea. What's happening June 11th? Get in my Telegram and tell me about it. So the trees, pine trees, give off a very beneficial frequency, you could say. And it is the fragrance has a very interesting effect on the human mind. They figured that it actually has an ability to turn on DNA strands. There's a clinical study that I have no idea what the name of is, but I'll post it in my Telegram. Go to the 4th link in my bio and we'll post that on the Telegram. Now, I want you to know that don't think just because, like me, you consume GMOs for a little while, like, they released them in 1990 something, 1995, maybe 2000 or so, GMOs were introduced. Then, after GMOs, we got more fluoridated water, chlorinated water, and all these things. But I don't want you to think that you are now in a lowered state because of it. I mean, yes, technically, if you are fully calcified, like you're not at your peak state, but if you judge yourself and think, damn, man, I beat myself up, like I'm in a lowered state, I eat shitty, man, like I'm already screwed, like I polluted my body so much. No. Your body has the ability, the capabilities to detox, to rejuvenate, to restore at all times, that it needs the micronutrients. It needs the bioavailable minerals. It needs things like NAC, like the FDA just banned, which is really lame, actually. And that's why chalk has to they can no longer give out the Apex glutathione. You can't get it anymore. It's off the website. And guess what? So the next thing on the list for them to try to ban are 2 ingredients that are in the chalk armor. I'm definitely not saying that, Decoy 6. You got to be nuts, big guy. I'm no dum-dum, all right? I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. So, very interestingly, the 2 ingredients that they're trying to ban in the chalk armor is the quercetin, which is sunflower leaf extract, which is highly beneficial for blood, okay? Oxygenates your blood, increases nutrient delivery, and the, very interesting, the astragalus. And astragalus, like we said many times, all you have already heard about it. The astragalus is one of the main ingredients in the armor, and it was clinically studied, okay, to lengthen telomeres in the brain, which means lengthening telomeres means anti-aging. Chalk armor, clinically studied to have anti-aging effects. Why would the FDA ban a natural ingredient that has been clinically studied to have anti-aging effects on the human body? And guess what? That's not where they're stopping. Okay? They're already talking about aquatic, oceanic vegetables. I think they're coming for Irish moss next. You may be thinking, like last year, if I told you they're coming for NAC, you'd be like, dude, fuck, like whatever, man. NAC, by the way, is a very powerful amino acid that's really good for liver function and lung function, which apparently if everyone's getting hurt today because of this thing that floated in the air that's can shred your lungs, why would they ban these very beneficial things that are very good for lung function? You got to ask. You got to ask yourself. I don't know if they're coming for Irish moss, but I know they're talking about aquatic vegetables. They're pissed off about how many superfoods the natural world has. They're pissed off because guess what? If fluoride and chlorine and GMOs lower your state of consciousness and they calcify your pineal gland and they put toxic chemicals into your system, if they're doing all that, why would they want you to completely do the opposite to yourself by taking things like NAC or astragalus or ginseng extract? They're trying to ban ginseng extract, been used for thousands of years. NAC is a natural derivative. It is a naturally produced, naturally sourced amino acid that's never hurt anyone, but the FDA has banned it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than it seems like they don't want you healthy. Where did I get this strange revelation from? They might not want your pineal gland decalcified. Why don't they want your pineal gland decalcified? Well, what does your pineal gland do? Well, taps into the consciousness around you. It taps into the natural world. It gets you to tap into the infinite intelligence. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. There could be a reason they're trying to dumb you down with the calcified pineal gland. And this is exactly why it's very, very interesting that they're coming after these natural ingredients. They don't want you in a heightened state. Because if you're in a heightened state, you can, A, completely transcend the timeline they're trying to put us on, which is 5G, facial recognition, smart city, where you're not allowed out. That's one thing. Or the other thing, which is, there's two. There's the Great Awakening and there's the Great Reset. So because the FDA is launching a full-blown crackdown on the natural ingredients that are superfoods of the natural world, Chalk did something that they weren't ready to do, but they decided they had to do it because it's crazy. People got gypped out of... Chalk had to refund a bunch of people who bought the Apex the day that NAC was banned. They said, sorry, we're not risking an FDA, FTC violation, $50,000. So you're going to get refunded. We'll give you maybe the 7 Wonders or another supplement, very beneficial. The 7 Wonders is the one that has the chaga extract and the lion's mane, which are also super good for pineal gland decalcification and brain function. Because of this, Chalk issued a temporary extension on the 53% off lifetime discount. Extremely limited discount code to be able to get a 53% off lifetime discount on any Chalk subscription. Now, for guys, you absolutely need to try the Chalk Daily because the main ingredient is the purified shilajit. And then it has cacao extract, which increases nutrient delivery and is micronutrients. Then it has Mucuna, sap-fed muesli, and tribulus, which are 3 other adaptogenic compounds that have been used in ancient India for thousands of years. So the Chalk Daily is the first one guys want to start because it is specifically formulated for men. For ladies, absolutely critically important that you start balancing your endocrine system and decalcifying your pineal gland. That's what the purified shilajit is for. And if you're taking the purified shilajit and you're getting the only wildcrafted certified organic Irish moss, okay, this is the only wildcrafted certified organic Irish moss that's grown in Nova Scotia, ice cold Canadian waters, no microplastics. And if you're taking the shilajit and Irish moss, you're getting the full matrix of minerals, and then you're also getting the rare plant compounds in shilajit. Now, I want to tell you, that Shilajit was secretly studied by the Russian and Chinese military. Listen, Chinese and Russian militaries in deep underground bases. I'm not even making this up, man. They secretly studied Shilajit. Secretly. Because they had heard for thousands of years, since it's carved into stone in ancient India, because they're talking about the benefits of this supposed thing that grows over here, blah, blah, blah. But it turns out that Shilajit actually has very, very powerful, and in fact, some believe otherworldly powers, that when you take it, it'll boost testosterone for men. It'll balance hormones for ladies, which we know there's a multifaceted assault on the endocrine system of men and women all day, every day, with all the stuff they're pumping in the system. We got to avoid. And so if you're taking the Shilajit, this rare superfood, and the Irish moss, you're getting the full matrix of minerals. The most popular for men is the Daily and the Tongkat. Remember that the Tongkat is a household name in Malaysia. You can go and talk to folks and ask them. Everyone knows about Tongkat. It's also called Long Jack there. Clinically studied to balance hormones, optimize hormones for men and women, which boosts brain function, which increases concentration, memory, and focus. And this is verifiably documented. They got all the science backing it up. Check out chalk.com. They got the lab tests and the clinical studies. And so for anyone who's ever consumed a bowl of greens that's not organic, I just want to tell you, no, you don't need to take any superfoods, but I just want to tell you that you may have atrazine floating in your blood right now. And atrazine reverses the gender of frogs. Who's laughing now, man? I'm just trying to figure this out. I eat organic now, but I know I must have had very unfortunate ingredients floating through my system. And that is why it's a very good idea to supply yourself with micronutrients and get the rare plant compounds. If you eat fully organic, you're still only getting 10% of the minerals. And that's why you take the Irish moss, which is a natural superfood, been used for thousands of years. Many cultures around the world, plus the purified Shilajit. These are like the two must. The other one, of course, for men, you got to get the Chalk Daily, and a common custom bundle will be the Daily Action. Now remember, these are clinically studied. There's no guesswork. The benefits are based on 90 days of consistent consumption. And Chalk has dozens, like almost over 100 different clinical studies from all the different Chalk supplements and all the different ingredients. And it's very, very interesting because you don't find that type of science backing up anything in this day and age. Mostly it's just mindless, baseless health claims. But Chalk has the clinical studies. The Tongkat is clinically studied to boost testosterone 87% in 21 days for men and balance hormones for women, optimize hormones for women, which increases fertility and brain function. I mean, these are powerful plant compounds that the natural world has blessed us with. And Chalk is giving it away for 53% off for life. You can cancel the deal anytime. You cancel your subscription anytime. But remember, the benefits are based on 90 days. You do want to get the full matrix and you want to experience the full benefits, the full range of benefits. But you got to use the code 53life. You got to use the code 53life, and you got to do it before they close the deal, because this is only a temporary extension to try to fight back. The FDA is trying to take your ability away to consume powerful plant compounds. Well, Chalk's going to hook you up. Chalk's going to give you 53% off for life using the code 53life. Someone asked if you can use the code 53life on the Apex. No one can get the Apex anymore. This little bottle here will be framed back when we used to sell Apex. And then there's going to be Apex Glutathione 2.0, which is going to have a different ingredient in it that's going to be even better than the regular Apex. But they got to up it. They got to up the ante, okay? The FDA, we're going to put something even more powerful than NAC in there, all right? And think about it. Just because they're trying to ban supplements doesn't mean you want to not take them because one day they'll be banned. No. You want to, that means they already won. Don't let them keep your pineal gland calcified. Don't let them keep you in a lowered state with these strange ingredients they're adding to the food and water supply. You don't want that. You want to keep your system in a heightened state, and that's why I'm taking superfoods every single day. Birdman said he's literally has all the supplements. They're amazing. Appreciate it, big guy, because a lot of people in here want to know, I mean, is anyone really taking Chalk here? I think that probably 50% of you already are, but the interesting thing is that when you're taking Chalk, man, you're in a different state of consciousness. And that sounds funny, but think about it. If your pineal gland is truly the seat of your soul, then it is it's the connection point between your soul and your physical body, okay, then what happens if that's decalcified and in a heightened functioning state? You got to ask yourself, what happens? Well, you're in a different frequency band, baby. You manifest a totally different reality than those around you. Very, very interestingly. Folks have a negative situation after negative situation happen to them again and again. I can tell you, the healthier your body is, the stronger the connection with your soul, the more easy you can manifest your own reality. So I'll take that to the bank, big guy. The code is 53% off lifetime discount using the code 53life. Use that on any subscription or bundle. So you can go add the daily action combo. I didn't tell you about the action 2.0, but all I can say is all day natural energy, clinically studied ingredients, no stimulants. You don't get addicted to it. Someone asked if you're going to withdraw from it. No. These are natural botanicals and plant extracts, natural extracts. There's no stimulants in here. There's no strange things that are unfavorable for your system. These are all natural plant compounds that have been clinically studied. There's no withdrawals or side effects, etc. And not to mention another one of those ingredients in there, the rhodiola, secretly studied in a deep underground military base in Siberia. I'm telling you right now, you're thinking, dude, what the Sam Dam are you talking about? Go to Chalk on YouTube. Check out the YouTube video they did. The interview with the chief scientific officer, Dr. Matt Dorsey, and him talk. He'll tell you a little bit about rhodiola. You might be mind blown. But here's the thing: for those who are overseas and you don't want to use the code 53% off lifetime discount because you don't want to pay shipping every month, the best thing to do would be use the code 44 off and get a multi-month supply, so you can still experience the full range of benefits over the period of 90 days. What do you recommend for women? You mentioned 2 supplements. Any others? So that's a very good question. Truth, Light, Love too. I would definitely recommend to start for women is the Shilajit and 7 Wonders, because 7 Wonders has chaga and lion's mane extract, which are certified organic. And both of those extracts are from the fruiting body and the mycelium, which creates a very rare. I'll put it to you this way. They're clinically studied to increase memory, concentration, brain function, and they're believed to decalcify the pineal gland. Very beneficial. So Shilajit 7 Wonders. And then the other one for ladies would definitely be the Irish Moss for the full matrix of minerals. And I just want you to know, when you go to chalk.com and you're scrolling, you're like, Irish Moss, that's cool. I just want you to know one thing. You can go and buy Ziploc bag full, of Irish Moss on the internet for literally $5. But you will not find certified wildcrafted, certified organic Irish Moss. It doesn't exist. Most of it is farmed, fertilized, given pesticides, and grown in places with a lot of microplastics. So you don't want that. You want that's what you get what you pay for. And especially if you're getting 44 off or 53% off, it's an amazing deal on wildcrafted certified organic Irish Moss. I just want you to know. So, oh wow, your account's got deleted today. Yeah, you got to be careful. You actually can't tell the truth today. You have to bite your tongue or start a Telegram. That's why I got the 4th link in my bio is my private uncensored Telegram channel. By the way, last thing. So the most popular for women, yes. The most popular supplements for women, it would be the Shilajit 7 Wonders and Shilajit 7 Wonders Irish Moss for 3. And if you were to go 4, I would add in the Tonkat or the Armor. Remember that the Armor has anti-aging effects because it has the astragalus in it, the chalk armor. Write these down, everyone. Come on. For guys, the most important ones to take would be the Daily Action or the Daily Tonkat or the Daily 7 Wonders or the Daily Irish Moss. All I know is you need the Daily. Whatever one you feel vibrationally drawn to, get it and use the code 53life for a 53% off lifetime discount. For a 47-year-old male, what would you recommend? The thing is, Mako 830, is that I'm glad you're asking, because most men today, unfortunately, have been chemically altered to the state of where they don't produce nearly enough testosterone. And testosterone is not responsible for toxic masculinity. Testosterone is responsible for confidence, drive, motivation, will to succeed, and overall mood, healthy mood. But if you're in a lowered state, not enough testosterone, you'll feel out of whack. That could actually increase tendencies of violence because your brain hormones are all out of whack. We need testosterone. Don't fall for these medias talking about toxic masculinity, blah, 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 blah. It's fake news, man. They're just trying to pit the genders against each other now. So very interestingly, the most important one to start for you, Mako 830, would be the daily Tonkat. Take the daily Tonkat, because the Tonkat is clinically studied to optimize hormones for men and women. But for men specifically, because it's an adaptogen, they have a very, very interesting effect where it boosts testosterone 87% in 21 days. Free testosterone. Very, very powerful. The Tonkat 100. I just took 3 before this live. I regularly triple dose it. And last thing, before I tell you something else very interesting, is that there is 2 weeks left for the heirloom cacao from Chalk. They bought an entire crop from a Bolivian farm next to a volcano, mineral-rich soils, and they have organic heirloom cacao beans with the skin intact, which you generally don't find with cacao beans. You either get nibs, and the skin has a lot of nutrients in it. Cacao beans, organic heirloom, certified 97%, 97.3% heirloom. Most of the cacao and the chocolate you've ever had in your life has been hybrid. You don't know potentially what the true taste of true, you know how there's true cinnamon, there's cassia cinnamon, which is fake news, and then there's true cinnamon, which is Ceylon cinnamon. This is the true cacao, the true cacao. And if you try one of these, big guy, I'll tell you right now, I'm just joking. I was talking to one guy when I said that, but I don't want to assume your gender. But I'm telling you right now, you trying that cacao, there's 2 weeks left. There won't be another batch until 2022 because unfortunately, they got the whole batch. And Chalk is about to start limiting the amount of bags people can buy per order because unfortunately, they don't have enough left. And people are completely, pillaging the website with these discount codes and getting the cacao, the heirloom cacao. So how do you take cacao? I eat it with either a banana or I put it in a blender, or you grind it in a coffee grinder and make a cocoa tea out of it. And if you go to Chalk's Instagram, @GetChalk, you'll see the video of them making the cacao cocoa tea. Hot chocolate, you could call it. So please do not message me when this deal closes complaining that the code doesn't work anymore, because every time, I'm telling you, you probably think, it's crazy how often I'm like telling you guys, I'm like, yo, the deal, like it's 90% gone. Like it's literally about to close. And then you got, some of you don't use the code. And then the next day it closes and I get a message, big guy, what's going on, man? You closed the deal on me. You closed the code. And I say, sorry. Look, Chalk doesn't have an unlimited budget here. So 53% off lifetime discount. Support the movement. Support the folks who are very, very, very aware of what's going on. I'll tell you, the folks over at Chalk actually, they're very well versed on this covert war on humanity. That's why they have the most powerful plant compounds to help rejuvenate and restore folks from an altered state of consciousness. They are wishing and desiring and choosing to see consciousness raising. So with that being said, make sure you use the code 53life for 53% off lifetime discount. Go to chalk.com right after this live feed. Do not miss out. And use the code 53life and get a 53% off lifetime discount. Cancel anytime. Or go to chalk.com, use the code 44off for 44% off all orders store-wide. Okay? Go to site, see what you're most drawn to. See what you feel most drawn to. Remember, the Armor has anti-aging. So does the Shilajit has anti-aging. The Daily's the one that's specifically for men. The Irish Moss has the full matrix of minerals. It's going to be hard for you to choose, but you got to choose because you'll be feeling great when you're taking these rare micronutrients, plant compounds, and the full matrix of minerals. So with that being said, you better get in my Telegram right after you get your Chalk and keep me posted on your results. Remember, the benefits are based on 90 days of consistent consumption. Any questions, DM me. This guy asked here, he asked a very good question. He said, which Chalk product can women take again? All Chalk supplements except for the Daily. Women can take every single different Chalk supplement except for the Daily. Go to the 4th link in my bio. DM me with any questions. But go to the 4th link in my bio and download the private uncensored Telegram app and then join my channel. And that's where I can post stuff that doesn't get fact checked or deleted or algorithmically censored. All right. So DM me. We'll talk very soon. Much love, everyone. Hope you enjoy this live feed. I'll see you on in about 5 minutes. I'm going to go live in about 5 more minutes. All right. So I'll see you right back here in 5 minutes. I'm just joking. I'll see you tomorrow morning. But sometimes we'll do a marathon, man. What day should I do a marathon? If there's ever another 2012 where like shit's about to go down, I'll go live through it, man. The grid's coming down. I don't give a shit, man. Whatever's happening, I'll go live. And we'll go through it together. I'll get in the truck. I'll get in the big rig there. Press the button, turn it on, get going, open all the windows, crank some music, put it on the dash, put it on the holder, And we'll drive through town, man, burning down. Shit's getting crazy, man. I'll be live. We'll be talking. We'll be seeing what's going on, you know? All right, I'll see you guys soon. Get in my Telegram. Seriously, 53% off lifetime discount, man.